Welcome to the Brain Alpha. Today, we're diving into how to break out of that super frustrating rut. You know the exact feeling I'm talking about, right? Feeling totally stuck, unaccomplished, and like time is just kind of slipping through your fingers. You wake up, go through the motions, and then suddenly realize months have flown by without any real progress. We all want a fulfilling, regret-free life, but sometimes it honestly feels like there's this invisible wall holding us back. Well, today, we are tearing that wall down.
So, to help us take back control, we're turning to some incredibly high-stakes lessons from Evie Poumpouras. She is a former U.S. Secret Service agent and a 9/11 first responder. Evie has literally faced down terrorists, protected presidents, and operated in high-stress environments where a single mistake literally meant life or death. And what she discovered is pretty profound. She found that the exact same mindsets tested in those extreme life-or-death scenarios are the ultimate key to conquering our everyday challenges. Basically, she identified 5 specific mental traps that absolutely guarantee a life of regret.
In this explainer, we're going to walk through these 5 restrictive mindsets you have to drop. We'll cover why you shouldn't glorify suffering, the illusion of confidence, why you need to stop acting like prey, how emotions are not your identity, and finally, why you must function before you heal. Let's just systematically dismantle these roadblocks right now.
All right, mindset number 1. Don't glorify your suffering. Look, it's incredibly tempting to believe your pain is uniquely terrible, but isolating yourself is the very first trap. Evie learned this lesson in the most extreme environment you could possibly imagine, Ground Zero. When the Twin Towers fell during 9/11, she was actually right there. Surrounded by all that unimaginable tragedy and chaos, it would have been so easy for her to become paralyzed, to play the tragic hero of her own nightmare. But then she looked around. She saw her colleagues fighting the exact same terror, shedding tears, but still totally executing their duties to save lives. Seeing that instantly snapped her out of a victim mentality. When you realize that literally everyone is fighting unseen battles, your pain is no longer a reason to isolate yourself. Instead, it becomes a bridge to connect with others and keep pushing forward.
Moving right along to mindset number 2, the confidence illusion. You really have to stop using a lack of confidence or a lack of motivation as a convenient excuse to avoid taking action. I mean, how many times have you told yourself, oh, I'll start that business when I feel a bit more confident, or I'll go to the gym when I finally have the motivation? We treat these feelings like they're strict prerequisites for doing anything difficult. But here's the harsh reality. Motivation is basically the most unreliable fuel source ever. It might last a few hours max. If you're just sitting around waiting for the perfect alignment of the stars where you suddenly feel brave and super motivated, time is just going to keep ticking by.
This is brilliantly illustrated in high-level performance training. Take the Secret Service, for example. During their intense training, recruits are violently shaken awake at 3 a.m. to run miles in the pitch dark. Do you honestly think anyone feels motivated when they're dragged out of bed in the freezing cold? Absolutely not. There is zero motivation present in that moment. There is only the sheer will to put one foot in front of the other. The instructors don't care about your feelings, they only care about your actions. And this builds into a really powerful new framework for us. You have to realize that confidence isn't the fuel you need to start the engine. Actually, scratch that. It's more like the footprint you leave behind only after you've pushed through the fear. You take action first, even if you're trembling, scared, and completely unmotivated. Once the task is done, you look back and think, wow, okay, I actually did that. And that realization right there, that is what builds real, lasting confidence.
Okay, mindset number 3. Stop acting like prey.
If you internally doubt yourself, that weakness is going to leak right out into your physical body language. Check out this absolutely fascinating psychological study they did in New York. Researchers showed violent inmates in a maximum security prison videos of everyday people just walking down the street. Then they asked the inmates, who would you target? And get this, almost all the criminals independently identified the exact same targets. It wasn't about the person's size or gender at all. It was based entirely on physical attributes. Things like looking down, taking short, hesitant strides, or having distracted eyes. They were essentially acting like prey. On the flip side, the hard targets walked with a consistent pace, they claimed their personal space, and they maintained strong situational awareness. So whether you're walking down a busy city street or walking into a high-stakes business meeting, if you internally feel weak, your posture is subconsciously signaling to everyone else that you are not a priority. People will literally dismiss your ideas or just talk right over you. Now, you don't have to feel like a superhero on the inside, but you absolutely must physically project strength on the outside. Stand up straight, make strong eye contact, and own your space. When you change your physical signals, you basically force the world to treat you as a formidable player. Let's dive into mindset number 4. Emotions aren't your identity.
You have got to stop allowing temporary feelings to define your permanent identity. It is so common to experience a negative emotion and immediately internalize it as some sort of deep character flaw. Like, say you're pitching a new client or doing some public speaking and your heart starts pounding out of your chest. That is just a natural biological response to a high-stakes environment. It's not a sign that you are fundamentally a coward. Telling yourself, "I am a coward," locks you in a cage, but saying, "I am experiencing fear right now," frees you up to act anyway.
Evie puts it so brilliantly. Labels are for clothes, not people. Think of your emotions as just weather passing through. You wouldn't say, "I am the rain," just because it happens to be raining outside, right? So stop labeling yourself with the temporary storms you experience. Feel the fear, acknowledge the anxiety, let the weather pass, and just do the work anyway.
And finally, mindset number 5. Function before you heal.
This one directly tackles that super dangerous belief that you must be 100% perfectly healed before you can move forward with your life. We hear this all the time, right? Take time to heal, or find yourself before you start. While that's usually well-intentioned, it can turn into a massive trap that just eats away years of your life. See, healing implies completely erasing the pain, as if it never even happened, but recovering means learning to function effectively despite the pain. Look around. Everyone you admire has been battered by life in some way or another. What separates the successful people from the stuck ones isn't the absence of pain, it's their ability to recover enough to function while the actual healing just happens in the background. The road of life is literally full of deep potholes. You are going to step in them. You're going to fall, you're going to scrape your knees, and you'll probably end up face down in the dirt a few times. That is guaranteed. The true measure of your resilience isn't whether or not you can perfectly avoid the fall. It's how incredibly fast you can pick yourself out of the dirt, dust yourself off, and just start walking again. In the Secret Service, they totally expect you to experience trauma. The only metric that really matters to them is your bounce-back rate. So by putting a stop to the glorification of suffering, taking action even when you have zero motivation, standing tall and owning your space, detaching your core identity from passing emotions, and learning to function right through the pain, you take total control of your trajectory. You stop being a passive participant just waiting around for the perfect moment, and you finally become the active architect of your own life.
So the final question you have to ask yourself today is this: how quickly will you bounce back the next time life knocks you down? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and help us build the hype. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.